The morning skate difference, guys. We are back. A little bit of technical difficulties, but what we were talking about was the whole Chuck Fletcher thing. Brownie's about to lose his shit. So, Brownie, keep going.
Listen, Chuck Fletcher with the fucking most, what do you always say, soy boy fucking statement ever. It was like, oh, my job's hard, is basically what he's saying about why we didn't go after, not we, the Flyers. All right, so for all the Bruins fans who may be watching or listening or whatever, however you consume this, and you're pissed about Don Sweeney, at least Don Sweeney's not standing up and saying, oh, my job's too hard. Fuck you, Chuck Fletcher. No wonder there's people going to the development camp with signs saying fire Fletcher. I don't blame them at all.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. That was the worst fucking thing. That's on par with, what's the coach of the Leafs?
The coach?
Sheldon Keefe. Yeah, that's on par with him saying, well, everybody's saying that we have the respect now when we lose. That's on the same fucking level of things you don't want to hear from your coach or GM.
No, and I would agree with that. And we'll get into
would Chris Drury ever say something like that?
No. That like, oh, it's too hard to move contracts. Like, that's your job.
That's it, man. That's your gig. Yeah.
I can't imagine going to work tomorrow and they like tell me to do something. It's like, nah, I'm not feeling that, man. That's too much work.
Hey, Brownie, could you build us this? You know, I know I'm a contractor, but that's just too hard. I'm sorry. No, I can't.
Yeah, ain't gonna work out. But so for me, I think Columbus. They also signed Adam Boquist 3 years, 7.8, and Jonas Carvasala for a year, 1.3 mil. My buddy Jimbo, I don't know if he's listening or not, but I met him out when I lived in Nashville. He was on my hockey team. He's from Columbus. And hit me up immediately. He's like, Johnny, fucking hockey. And it was hilarious. It was supposed to be Islanders, Devils, the whole thing. And then out of nowhere, Columbus showed up.
I think, was it NRD? That was like, don't be surprised if it's someone that we have. And I think he had the receipts.
I love NRD.
I think it was him.
And shout out, there's like a Devils fan. Like it's like Jesper Bratz, something. He has a lot of followers and a huge Devils guy. And Frankie Borelli, when Panarin was a free agent, tweeted Panarin will be an Islander, and this guy said Gaudreau will be a Devil. Just doesn't work that way, boys. So, but we're gonna move on. Dallas, Fink, if you're listening, this one's for you. Chiller, Colin Miller, 2 years, 3.7 mil. Mason Marchment, 4 years, 18 mil. Scott Wedgwood, 2 years, 2 mil, and Dennis Gurianov for 2.9. I don't really know what Dallas is doing, but I think that Marchment kid's tough as shit. I liked his game a lot.
And listen, Colin Miller can replace most of what Klingberg does.
Yeah.
So, I love Colin Miller. The Bruins should have protected him back when Vegas did the expansion draft. I've loved him ever since. Yeah. Great player.
Great player. The eyes are playing. David Perron, 2 years, 9.5. I think this is a great pickup. This might be my favorite pickup of free agent frenzy because this is a guy I know you and I don't particularly care for him because he's never really played on our team. He's going to be great for a young locker room.
Yep.
He's going to be
100%.
Kubalik, 2 years, 5 mil. Ben Sherratt. I mean, if you guys remember, I tried convincing myself he was going to go to the Rangers at the deadline, got drunk and just watched his hockey fights. 4 years, 19 mil. Ole Mata, a year for 2.25. Andrew Kopp, 5 years, 28.13. He was a great Ranger, produced when he needed to. Thought it was interesting. He pretty much said the Rangers didn't really talk to him or offer him anything. So
that was a little weird, right?
I think the Rangers knew their guy. I think they knew who they were going to go after. We'll talk back in a bit.
Yep.
And Billy Husso, 3 years, 14.25. Detroit's starting to put their pieces together. I still don't think they're anywhere near a playoff team, but they're working on it, which you like to see. And plus, you have, in my opinion, the best GM in the league.
It was a good day for Mavs, for sure.
Yeah. Edmonton, Greg McKay, get the fuck out of New York. I never had to
I put him on there. I don't know the terms because there was no information. It just said they signed.
It was a 2-year, 2-way contract, guaranteed like $300,000. Good for you, Greg.
He was the only 2-way contract I put on this whole thing just to get this reaction from you.
So happy. Brett Kulak, 4 years, 11 mil. Jack Campbell, 5 years, 5 mil. Evander Kane, 4 years, 20.5 at a $5.13 million cap. Again, they traded Cassian. Let's talk about a couple things. Jack Campbell. I still don't think this is the answer for a goalie in Edmonton. Like, I still don't. Like, I close my eyes and I'm trying to picture Edmonton lifting the cup. It's Connor McDavid and he hands it to, and it's not Jack Campbell.
Well, let me ask you this. They're significantly closer than they were at this point last year.
Oh, yeah. And Mike Smith, I guess, isn't playing next year. He's that hurt.
He's done. I think he's done.
Yeah.
Him and Duncan Keith freed up the room. Him and Duncan Keith freed up the room for Evander Kane and Jack Campbell, basically.
Yeah. And they had to bring Evander Kane back. And talk about being
Evander Kane I think he took less money to go back there.
Yeah.
I think he was appreciative. Maybe he's finally getting it, right? He had that one moment against Kadri, right? But other than that, he was a model citizen.
Him signing at Edmonton for Evander Kane couldn't have gone any better than it did for him.
Exactly.
Like, in terms of like the fans appreciated him.
Yep.
He played lights out. He stayed out of the shit for the most part, right?
Yep.
How many times is that going to happen if he goes somewhere else? So to me,
there's nothing to do in Edmonton either.
I think that's the smart thing. And he was interviewed the other day, and he came out and he said every year he was in Winnipeg, he demanded a trade, which makes a lot of sense when you see that one picture of him walking by and Dustin Byfuglien.
Think of Byfuglien. Yeah, I love that picture.
Yeah. All-time picture. Florida, Nick Cousins for 2 years, Colin White for a year, and the Stahl brothers. Eric Stahl is PTO 1 year 750, and Mark Stahl 1 year 750. I think Florida's done, but
I think so. But the Stahls, hey, I think it's cool that they got to go play again together.
Phoenix Copley, LA Kings, 1 year, $825K North Pole. I don't know why we put.
He's from the North Pole. I just think that's so cool. He's from the North Pole. That's why I put him in there. He's Santa's goalie.
Brendan Lemieux, 1 year, 1.35. Carl Grundstrom, 2 years, 2.6. Adrian Kempe, 4 years, 22. And Kevin Fiala, 7 years, 55.13. You know, you look at what the Kings have done. They won their cups, right? And then they kind of went through this like weird, like they're there, but they're not there. Then they kind of rebuilt on the fly, kind of like the Rangers did. Now they're adding more pieces. I like this for LA. Right. Yep. I mean, I think this makes them a better team. So
Kempe's a dynamic player.
Yeah, he's really good. Very underrated.
Going to take some of the burden off of Doughty. So.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens there. Minnesota, Zane McIntyre, 1 year, 750. Marc-Andre Fleury, 2 years, $7 million. Jacob Middleton, 3 years, 7.35. Connor Dewar, 2 years, 1.6. And they required Philip Gustafson for that Cam Talbot deal. Their biggest thing, get Kirill the Thrill back and just. Yep. You know, Boldy, keep developing those young guys. Zuccarello.
Zane McIntyre one is kind of interesting because he was a Bruins property until, you know, they brought in Ullmark and Swayman showed up, right? He was a good goalie. He's sound technically. He's got the right mental attitude, and the chance for him to go there and to play behind Fleury could have hit something here. It's another scratch ticket type deal, you know.
Yeah. I'm good with that. Montreal locked up their number one pick, entry level contract.
He may make the squad as well coming out. Him and Wright.
I think he'll make the squad. Otto Leskinen 1 year, Chris Weidman 2 years for 1.52. They got Kirby Dach, a little bit extra strength down the middle, and they acquired the 13th overall pick and the 98th overall pick for Alexander Romanov. I have no idea what they gave up on him.
Yeah, I don't know. Montreal, listen, I'm the worst guy to talk about Montreal as a Boston fan, right? Because I would just like to see that franchise never do anything. But it makes like we talk about Philly, it makes the NHL better when Montreal is relevant.
Yeah.
So, they're trending in the right direction, but yeah, I don't know. That Romanov thing is questionable.
I mean, they essentially gave up Romanov for Dach, and maybe they think there's more importance with them having like Suzuki and Dach down the middle, but Smashville, Philip Forsberg, 8 years, 8.5. I like to see this for Nashville. They locked up their dude. They need somebody there to play hockey. I'm good with that he's their guy.
That's a big ticket, man, for him.
He's pretty fucking good, dude.
Not my money, though. I don't care. Right.
Jeremy Lauzon, 4 years, $8 million at a $2 million cap hit. And Kevin Lankinen, 1 year, 1.5. Yep. They didn't really do much, but I mean, that's Nashville, kind of a smaller market team, and they're gritty. Brendan Smith, 2 years, 2.2 going to the Devils. I think this is good for Smitty. He was interviewed today, and he was talking about how it was kind of his job to help the young Rangers defenseman literally take his job. And I thought that was kind of a cool sentiment to him.
Which is actually what every veteran's job is, but not many veterans embrace it like he did, which that speaks to his character. Because it's like there's enough jobs, right? He's gonna catch on somewhere, and to have the professionalism to be like, yeah, listen, I'm giving back to the game that's been good to me. Someone did that for him, so he's not somebody else. And I think that's the right way to handle it. I mean, that being said, I don't know what I would do if I was in his position, right? But I would hope I would handle it like that.
To me, he's a legend. He was the one who drove Capo to the rink every day and shit like that. So, Devils got a good one. They got Eric Hall. We talked about that for Pavel Zacha. They acquired Vitek Vanacek and a 2022 40th overall pick for the 2022 35th and 70th picks. And they just locked up Andre Plot, 5 years, $30 million, $6 million cap hit. I think this is kind of their backup plan.
Has Booth been texting you?
No, I texted him today, actually. If you're a Devils fan, listen to this. Check out our guy, Booth. I fucking hate him because he's a Devils fan, and he just pisses me off, but he does really good writing. I would like to see him.
He does a really good job.
He does a great job. If I'm a Devils fan, I'm definitely following what he has. And I would talk to him a little bit today, trying to help him out and get his shit in front of more people because, like, his blogs are good. His blogs are really good. He knows what he's talking about. So if you guys get a chance, if you're a Devils fan, check him out. The Islanders, well, they got Romanov, and that's it. Sucks to suck, Islanders. I loved seeing this as a Rangers fan. Let me tell you what. So Johnny Gaudreau, he could have picked Philly, but the GM said it was too hard. He could have picked the Devils, and seeing Jack Hughes and Johnny Gaudreau playing together would have been really fun. American, young, but it would have been a smaller kind of thing. If I'm Johnny Gaudreau and I'm trying to win a cup, I'm either going back to Calgary or I'm signing with the Islanders. If you look at the Islanders have always kind of been that one – game changer away. I mean, Barzal's there, but they need that one dude. And he would have been, I had nightmares thinking Johnny Hockey was going to the Island. I was like, this is going to fucking suck.
That one made sense to me, but I don't think he's Lou's type of player, right? Isn't that the whole, one of the knocks?
But I mean,
I think his best opportunity to win a cup was either Calgary or the Rangers.
Yeah, but he wasn't going to go to the Rangers.
No, I'm just saying out of the teams that were linked to him. Right?
Oh, Rangers weren't linked to Gaudreau.
Well, that was just you?
No, I Patty Kane. Patty Kane was the guy I was talking about.
That's what it is. All right.
Speaking of Rangers, let's talk about it.
Pipe dream.
Jiro Halak, 1 year, 1.55. The Rangers finally got a capable backup goalie. I love seeing this. And a guy who dominated the Rangers every time he got to play against them. His numbers have gone down a little bit, but he was playing for Vancouver, who isn't the best. He was.
You're talking about Halak?
Yeah. He was a staple in Boston. I mean, he was really good for you guys back when it was him and Tuukka. So.
Well, go look up what he did in Montreal. I mean, the guy's nasty.
Yeah.
And like we talked about offline, this is the guy who can teach Igor how to balance out the whole craziness of it because he played in Montreal, which is a rabid fan base.
It's nice to have some experience there. You know what I mean?
Someone to talk to, I'm sure. So, all right, go ahead. Continue. I have a question for you when you're done.
Well, just really quick. Halak played 35 games against the Rangers and went 24-9 with a 2.33 goals against and a 927 save percentage. Thank God I don't have to see that anymore.
Yep, can't beat him, get him.
Rangers got their guy, Vinny Trocheck. 7 years, which is a lot. 6.25 or 5. Wait, it's 5.63. 5.63. I apologize. I'm good with this. I mean, he was one of Carolina's best players in the playoffs. He's been on the podcast. Shout out to him. Ryan Strome did what he did with Panarin still to put up points. Now you're putting a better center with him, a guy who's going to be more physical. He's going to go in. He's going to get the puck. He's going to do things. If you kind of take a look really quick, Ryan Strome had 41 hits last season. Trocheck had 185. That's 144 additional hits coming for the center ice for the Rangers. So that's good. You put him on line with Capo. He likes to protect the puck, explode out of the corners. I think he's just going to be great. I mean, he can win faceoffs. I think he's a 54% at the dot last year, which the Rangers definitely needed help in. And again, he was the best player for Carolina when I was watching. He was a guy who was kind of stirring the pot the whole time he was out there. So definitely good stuff. Sammy Blais, 1 year, 1.52. They signed Ryan Carpenter too. So now this is kind of like a lower level depth deal for them. They weren't able to bring back Tyler Mott because of all the cap issues and shit like that. But this guy, really good at the dot. He can he wins faceoffs. He's great. Brownie, we lost him again. This guy, amateur hour. But in my opinion, I think he's going to be fucking really, really good. He's going to compete with that Swede that they just signed for the fourth line center role. for me, I think the Rangers had like a B, I don't know, B plus, A minus off season. Brownie's back, amateur hours over. But for me, it's good. They got rid of Georgiev. They got 3 picks. Louis Domingue, they brought him for like AHL goaltending. For me, the Rangers, B plus, A minus off season. I'm happy with everything that they did.
This is my question for you. Do you think that Philip Forsberg is worth $3 million more a year than Vincent Trocheck?
I think so, yeah.
Do you? All right. I don't.
Yeah, but if Philip Forsberg, Nashville needs him. Like, bad.
No, I understand. I understand it all fits in whatever case you're in. But Trocheck seems like a big ticket, but then you compare to some of these other deals, and I'm like, that's a great deal for the Rangers.
Yeah, and their second line center is locked up for under $6 million a year for a while.
Yeah.
And it's great because, I mean, you put them up there and they're going to be offensive. If you need to lock shit down, he's 54% of the dot, like I said earlier. He is, and he plays with that grit. He plays with that fuck you type game, which is exactly what the Rangers did. The Rangers, they used to just kind of get like these fucking bums that were tough and kind of put them in the lineup. Now they're getting people with skill that are tough in the lineup. And
it's becoming more of a destination as well.
Yeah. So for me, I'm good with Vinny Trocheck. Again, he's been on the podcast. If you get a chance, check it out. That's back when he was on Carolina. He just joined Carolina.
It's a bunch of there's a bunch of webs connected to Gallant too, which I think makes it
right. So Ryan Carpenter played with Gallant when he was in Vegas. Vinny Trocheck played when he was in Florida. That's a good point, Brownie. You put all this shit together, you're gonna have a healthy Sammy Blais for a full year, hopefully, fingers crossed.
Hopefully.
You have a healthy Capo, who people forget he was out for a while with a broken wrist. Vitaly Kravtsov, a young kid who's coming up. So, like, we're bringing in people.
And the experience from the run, too. Don't forget that. That's huge.
Experience from the run and a full summer of training for guys like Keandre Miller, Lafreniere, Capo to get bigger, stronger. Same with Kravtsov. Bobby Trevino, which is a guy that we picked up, I'm pretty sure from BU or Harvard, one of those. Free agent guy wasn't drafted, who I guess is making a splash in development camp. I'll talk to Vince Mercliano about that on the Talking Rags podcast. But for me, I love everything that they did. I think Vinny Trocheck is going to make it a pain in the ass for other people to play against him. And that's the type of player I want. So, all right, Ottawa. Claude Giroux, 3 years, 19.5. That's a $6.5 million cap hit. I guess the Florida Panthers offered him a 1 year, $1 million cap just to see if he would come. What an idiot. They got the Washington second round pick for Connor Brown. They got Cam Talbot. They acquired future considerations for Matt Murray. Good, get him the fuck out of there. They got Alex DeBrincat from Chicago and Josh Norris, 8 years, $63.6 million. They got a pretty good top six. I'm not saying they're anywhere near close, but at the same time, I'm very happy to see Ottawa might be relevant again.
Yeah, I think Ottawa had a good core going in, right? And then
figure it out, Brownie.
I know. Listen, we all know I'm technically chatting. I didn't do anything. All of a sudden, everything went black and started spinning, and it said something couldn't be found. I don't know what the hell. Listen, the fact that I'm even could read Disco's message is amazing. He totally messed me up. Oh, so Ottawa. So with the core they have, the young core, young leadership group, to add in guys like Giroux, right? It's a great person to learn from. They got Talbot, who's a solid netminder. Talbot actually had better numbers than Fleury did last year, if you remember, before they got Fleury. Mm-hmm. And I think it's great. I think it's great for Ottawa. I honestly do. I think it's not great for the Bruins, right? But it's great. If teams get better, it forces everybody, right? A rising tide lifts all boats. You have to compete and you have to keep up. So it keeps everybody going.
Yeah, they have a pretty good top six now. They have that Drake Batherson kid, Stützle, Tkachuk, DeBrincat, Giroux, and this Norris kid. That's not bad. And they're like fairly young. And I think Claude Giroux, he's going home. He's going to be able to help these kids out, kind of navigate what's going on. I think that's
I like the fact that it was a 2 year deal. Oh, it was 3 year deal. I like that because he's like, I'm buying into this turnaround.
And I'm glad that Matt Murray's gone. So
they got to be thrilled. How dumb is Toronto?
Chuck Fletcher, huh? Troy Grosnick, 1 year, $750. Justin Braun, big game Braun, get Braun burned. Loved him on the Rangers. Year 1.75, good for him. Tony D, 2 years, $10 million, $5 million cap hit. People were like pissed about this. Probably just because it's Tony DeAngelo. He's a fucking dynamic player, dude. Like, he's incredible. I don't I don't understand that.
I wonder how many offers he had. I mean, we'll never know, but I was just curious.
And so Tony D'Angelo and this guy, Nick DeLaurier, 4 years, $7 million, $1.75 million cap hit with Tortorella behind the bench. The Flyers are fucking back. Like, I'm so happy about that.
How pissed was Tortorella to read that comment from Fletcher? You think?
Yeah, I'm sure he wasn't thrilled.
Yeah.
He's like, if you don't want to do it, I'll fucking do it.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Your boy Rex sent me Minnesota Wild did like this cool like behind the scenes show, kind of like Behind the Bee. And it was back-to-back episodes, and it was Nick DeLaurier mic'd up and shit. And like he's going to Bertuzzo, he's like, shut the fuck up. Every time you're on the ice, you change your diaper. And like he tried fighting Barbashev. This guy is so fucking nails, dude. He's gonna be so good for the Flyers. Plus, it means Reeves is probably gonna have to fight a little bit more. So
yeah.
I'm good with that. Pittsburgh, Jan Ruda, 3 years, 8.25. Evgeny Malkin stopped throwing a temper tantrum, 4 years, 24.4.
Who the fuck was gonna give him that money on the open market? Except for maybe Toronto if they had it, right? I mean, who else was going to give him that money?
PL Joseph, 2 years, 1.65. Ricard Raquel, 6 years, $30 million, $5 million cap hit. I don't like that. Alex Nylander, 1 year, 750. Chris Letang, 6 for 36.6. Casey DeSmith, 2 years, 3.6. And Brian Russ, 6 years, 30.75. So essentially what the Penguins did is everybody was leaving. They're like, no, you're not. You're coming back.
The biggest signing out of all of them to me is Rust.
Yeah. For sure, Russ, and they just brought in that Josh Archibald kid.
Yeah.
They said that he's also going to be on the team. He's a gritty little fourth liner. He will be a great Penguin. So we'll see what the fuck happens. San Jose, Matt Benning for 4 years, Nico Sturm for 3 years, Oscar Lindblom for 2 years, Alexander Barbaranov 2 years, $5 million. They acquired Steven Lorentz and that Burns trade. They're rebuilding. They're doing what they got to do. I like what Mike Greer's doing because what was there is not working. So,
and I think it sounds like they're going to give Mike Greer time to do it. Hopefully,
yeah. And Logan Couture and Erik Karlsson were both interviewed, and they're like, "We're on board." So,
yeah, because Erik Karlsson screams gritty and hard to me.
Seattle Kraken, Martin Jones, 1 year, $2 million a year. That guy's going to get lit up. Justin Schultz, 2 years, $6 million, $3 million cap. Shane Wright for the entry level. And Andre Burakovsky, 5 years, $27.5 million. The Kraken, I know they're a new team. I would never want to play there just because of Seattle and all that shit.
You don't like Seattle?
No.
Why?
I would not fit in Seattle.
Why, the weather?
No, not the weather, just the people that live there. I would not fit in Seattle at all.
I think you're selling Seattle short. If you go outside the city, I think you would fit in.
Outside the city, probably. But my buddy just got a job for Ford out there, and I was talking to him, and he's like, "You would fucking hate it here." Plus, they're probably not going to be competitive for a little bit, but I'm interested to see how Shane Wright and Matty Beniers play. St. Louis, Nola Chari, 1 year, 1.25. Nick Leddy, 4 years, 16. And Robert Thomas, they locked him up, 8 years, $65 million. Best friends with Matthew Tkachuk, head on a swivel. Maybe Tkachuk goes home to St. Louis.
Robert Thomas also gave a lot of credit to the new Bruins head coach, Jim Montgomery, on the development of his game. So for all you guys moaning over Bruce Cassidy being gone, as much as I like Cassidy as well, Monty's a good coach.
It wouldn't be the morning skate without talking about the St. Louis Blues and somehow relating it to the Boston Bruins. Tampa Bay, they spent a lot of money. Hayden Fleury, 2 years, 1.5.
But you know what? They spent a lot of money, but this first one is another lottery ticket, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would give you that.
Because he was a fucking hell of a player before he went out to Seattle.
Ian Cole, 1 year, $3 million. I love Ian Cole.
That was Hayden Fleury. Sorry. I talked right over you. For those that didn't hear.
Ian Cole, 1 year, $3 million. I love Ian Cole. I think he's going to be great. They're trying to kind of replace a little bit of what they lost in McDonough.
Yeah,
Eric Chernak, 8 years, 41.6. Sorelli, 8 years, 50. Sergachev, 8 years, $68 million. Nick Paul, 7 years, 22.05.
How do they do this? I don't understand. How do they manage the cap like this?
They'll all be hurt come playoff time.
Yeah,
so
I guess.
Hey,
listen, the Tampa Bay voted to not to give them all the credit. I mean, give them all the shit you want because I can't stand the way they play and the way they all piss and moan. But Tampa Bay voted against having that rule. So.
Yeah.
No, the first go around, they voted against it.
It's I don't know about it. Toronto, Adam Gaudette, 1 year, $750. Obey Kubel, 1 year, $1 million. I like that deal. Samsonov 1 year 1.8, Giordano 2 years 1.6, Dennis Hildeby entry level contract, Matt Murray, good luck with that. And they got a second round pick for Peter Mrazek, and it looks like Jordy Ben's also going there. So
Jordy Ben is, yeah.
Yep. Toronto's going to Toronto. Have fun with your goaltending because that's not good.
Honestly, how is it that? And this speaks to what's his name, Dubas, right? He strikes me as always has to be the smartest guy in the room, one of those type of guys, right?
Big time, big time.
So everyone's telling him about Matt Murray. I had a breakdown in one of my blogs about Matt Murray and his decline over the last 5 years, and he looks at him and goes, "I know better than all you guys. Matt Murray's the fucking key." That's what he thinks. That Ottawa was so glad to get rid of him. They sent all those picks and they're retaining 25% of his salary to get him out the fucking door.
Have him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's nuts to me. But as much as I say that's nuts, I am 100% here for it because nothing better than watching Toronto, those fans with their painted faces crying in that stupid park. There's nothing better.
Yeah, have fun trying to get out of the first round next year if you make it. Vancouver, Mikheyev, 4 years, 19 mil. Curtis Lazar, 3 years, 3 mil. I like that deal. Brock Besser's coming back, 3 years, 19.95. A lot of JT Miller rumors going around. They're going to resign him. We don't know yet. Vegas, Brett Howden, 1 year, 1.5. Riley Smith, 3 years, 15 mil. They acquired future considerations when they gave up Pacioretty. So,
future considerations is just such a ridiculous thing.
Yeah, it's. Vegas is in shambles. We'll see how Jack Eichel does with a full year though.
Yeah.
That'll be
and rehab 100%. He can work out all summer, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he basically didn't play for almost a year.
Yeah. Capitals brought in Marcus Johansson, Eric Gustafson, Charlie Lindgren, Ryan Lindgren's brother, Darcy Kemper, 5 years, 26.25. He won a cup. I'm okay with that. They acquired Connor Brown. I think that's a good deal for them.
Yep.
They got rid of their old goalie. Dylan Strom's going there for 1 year, 3.5, and Matt Irwin, 1 year, 750.
Matt Irwin's good depth defenseman.
Yeah, I don't hate the moves that Washington's making. They're kind of like retooling a little bit. I think they got a better goalie. Marcus Johansson, that guy just plays. Like he is what he is. You don't have to worry about anything with him.
He was great when he was here in Boston.
Yeah, and I think Connor Brown's going to be a good one. And Dylan Strome to take a flyer on him. Maybe he plays great.
It's a lottery ticket, same thing. Yep.
And then the Winnipeg Jets, big save Dave, 1 year, 800K. Yep. Jets are going to jet. So
the Jets are still licking their wounds after Trotzy said no thanks.
Yeah. Dump and change, Brownie. Take it away.
All right. So NFL running back Le'Veon Bell, who last played in Tampa Bay, is taking the year off to focus on boxing this year. He is slated to face Adrian Peterson. No word if they're allowed sticks or not. On July 30th, but he wants to make a go out of boxing, and he said he can't do it part-time. Kevin Smith. You know who Kevin Smith is? Jay and Silent Bob?
Yes.
Kevin Smith of Jay and Silent Bob fame has officially released a trailer for Clerks 3. The first Clerks movie was released in 1993 and famously was made on – he maxed out his credit cards, had the actors sleeping on his couch. Yeah, just promising them, I'll put you in the movie, just do it. Yeah, so good for him. I love those movies. This was great out of Ukraine. The warning on cigarettes in Ukraine now says, quote, you should quit smoking so you get to see how Putin dies. So
marketing 101. Yeah,
there's our political statement. Charles Barkley has bet Aaron Rodgers that if Barkley finishes ahead of him in an upcoming golf tournament, Rodgers has to cut off his man bun. If Roger beats Barkley, then Chuck will donate $25K to Rodgers' charity. And the quote from Barkley, of course, was great. Just because you're too cheap to cut your hair, you can't make it a style. Here's $25. Go down to Fantastic Sam's and get that thing off the back of your head. That is not a style. You gotta love. He just gives no fucks.
He's great.
Speaking of like the Toronto Maple Leafs of the NFL, the Cleveland Browns. So they went out and got Deshaun Watson, and they pissed off Baker Mayfield. Deshaun Watson, with all the baggage, the multiple civil and criminal. For the alleged sexual assault charges against him, ruined the relationship that Baker had. Baker is now forced his way out of town and was traded to Carolina last week with Cleveland eating some of the money. So I love that kind of stuff. I really do, because Mayfield's going to be all fired up to play them. Did you see this by any chance? In Sioux Falls, Idaho, a severe thunderstorm pushed through a green sky. It looked like an alien movie, dude. It was crazy. It was like the color of Mountain Dew, the sky. and it was due to the green color was caused from light refraction within the heavy thunderstorms and indicates that the storm be capable of producing large hailstones. They were reportedly hailstones the size of baseballs in there.
Nope.
The real football team, the Las Vegas Raiders, my team, have hired Sandra Douglas Morgan as their new team president. She's the first black female team president in NFL history, so good for her. Yep. And the last one's kind of a sad one. James Caan, best known for his role as Sonny Corleone in The Godfather, passed away on July 6th at 82 years old. He was a prolific actor and could play all types of roles from drama to comedy. He didn't take himself too seriously and was known for being blunt to the point. He famously turned down major roles, as in Apocalypse Now, when he said, "Who wants to go to the Philippines for 16 weeks?" And when he turned down Superman, he said, "I'm not wearing a fucking cape." He chose roles that interest him as opposed to looking to cash out. You know who James Caan is, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Great actor. R.I.P.
I have another one.
Oh.
Paulie Walnuts passed away, dude.
Oh shit! Yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh,
that's right.
Man. And I just got done watching. Yeah, and I just got done watching The Sopranos. So all-time TV character, in my opinion.
So he was an actual. I read a story or an article. So at one point, no one was allowed to push back on anything from their characters on The Sopranos, I guess. The writing was the writing was the writing. It was like the Coen brothers are notorious for that, I guess, too. He only went in once, and I guess he had a pretty checkered past, the guy himself, before he started acting. And he said, the only thing I want for my character is to never be a rat. And they were like, and he's like, no, I'm serious. And he was like, and they were like, okay. And that was, and I think it was Michael Imperioli was talking about it on his podcast. He has a podcast about The Sopranos. And I think he was the one who said the story. Him and Bobby Baklava, I don't know the real guy's name, but they do a podcast. And I think that Imperioli, who used to do some writing on the show, said that no one had ever pushed back on any character except for that one time, which is cool. pretty unique. Yeah. Yeah. So there you go.
Right. Dump and change. I already talked about the Rangers. You weren't here for it, but I
know. I don't. Could you hear me when I was blacked out?
No, you were blacked out. But what do you got on the Bees?
That's because I told you the Spectrum. They were. I was bitching about Chuck Fletcher, and they got on me. All right. So here's my thing with the Bruins. If you tell me right now that Krejci and Bergeron are coming back, then they're good, right? Regardless of the injuries, I think they'll be okay.
Yeah.
If they're not, then something needs to happen. And I think that's what's happening right now. No one who is involved as a fan has any right to say to Bergeron or Krejci, will you just tell us already? Fuck you, right? The amount of these two guys have done. No, I see you shaking your head. The amount that these two guys have done for the franchise, they're allowed their time. If there's players that are in movement, I'm sure Don Sweeney can reach out to them. If they were in on somebody or someone else, would the Rangers have hustled Lundqvist? No. Some players earn the respect.
No, but if Henrik Lundqvist didn't let us know at the deadline or the free agent frenzy, and then a month later said I'm not coming back, he would be dead to me.
I guess that's a fair statement, but I don't think that's what's going to happen.
What if Bergeron and Krejci both come out and they're like, hey, sorry about that, no. And then you guys are fucked. And you could have made a lot of deals at the deadline and you didn't.
They couldn't have made a lot of deals at the deadline. They would
have had to have figured something out.
Right.
Well, I mean, what is all their cash tied up in? Marchand and Pastrnak and McAvoy?
It's all these fucking contracts that are still eating them. They got Hampus Lindholm, remember, McAvoy, these big, huge contracts. I don't think it was managed great. You know, the money. Listen, they picked up some depth pieces. They picked up some guys. Keith Kincaid as a goalie that has some NHL experience. They got the kid Greer. They have a few other players that might push for bottom six. I think they need to buy out Foligno or get someone to take him. I'm still hopefully optimistic because I think that if you build from the net out, right, which is how you build a team, I think they have a great tandem. I think they got great defensemen. I think they could use one more defenseman possibly, but I think they're good.
I have a hot take.
Go ahead.
If Bergeron and Krejci don't come, Kadri's going to the Bruins.
Could be.
That's my hot take.
Maybe. Hopefully, that's what they're working on. Hopefully that's what they're working on. That's why it's quiet. Maybe they're working on something with
I mean,
Kadri.
Kadri hasn't signed yet.
Right. I just fucking jinxed it, I'm sure. What a turnaround, too, that I'm like, yeah, I'll take Kadri. But my big issue, and I was going to make it my hero of the week, but I don't want to end on a bad note, but fuck the Jacobs. Jesus Christ, these people. He came out, the senior, Jeremy Jacobs, the fucking twat from so long ago. He came out, and well, Charlie Jacobs, who's his like little mincy boy, his son, Charlie, we're never getting any of these guys on the podcast. Charlie Jacobs came out and was like, oh, we believe, they talking about them, Turf and Cassidy. He was like, we believe in Cam and Don, and, we believe in the Dunn. He starts talking about the winning percentage and how many times they've been in the finals and all this. Great. And then they said something along, and I don't have the exact quote, but it was something along the lines of, this town won't sit for a rebuild. We can't do that. And it was not like we can't do that to our fans. We can't do that because we need the gate coming in. And that's what senior Jeremy said, something along the lines of, well, look at the gate. We're always packed. Yeah, because the fans here are fucking passionate, you jackasses. And it's such a fucking scumbag thing. They don't care. That's the thing with owners. Like, we make fun of Buffalo, right? The Pagulas, right?
Yeah.
They fucking care and they want to win. Everybody around here loves Robert Kraft because he came up as a fan and he wants to win. That's why they hate John Henry, because it's a business investment for the Red Sox.
Right.
And that's what Jacobs is. It's a business investment. They're never going to sell the team, and this is what it is. And Hal's probably going, fuck yeah, right now, like Bender and Breakfast Club. But it's unfortunate. It's the way it is. They used to not spend money. Now they spend money, but they don't care. They still don't care. You need to care to be a good owner, in my opinion. Whew, that's it.
Awesome. Do you have anything for Beer League?
No, I'm supposed to be playing right now, but I fucked up my ankle, so I'm not playing tonight.
Fair enough. You got the boot on.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, next segment, we are going to go to Dominic Moore's Heroes and Zeros.
Hey fans, this is Dominic Moore. I'm just going to take you guys through a little bit of the behind the scenes stuff here.
All right, I'm going to go quick.
Go ahead.
Hero of the week goes to my PM at work. I came off a bachelor party, very hungover.
I forgot to ask you. How was that? Good?
It was good. We had a good time. And Wednesday
was I saw some video where you guys, first off, rookie move. No videos from the bachelor party.
I had a great time.
I know, but you're not supposed to do videos at a bachelor party. You guys are playing like Can Jam, all you out, your shirts on in the yard or something. Was that the bachelor party?
Hell yeah.
Spike ball. Yeah.
Whole day of spike ball. It was good. It was fun. But came back Monday really hungover, looked at my schedule, no meetings on Wednesday. I messaged my PM. I'm like, hey, can we keep it that way? She's like, why? I was like, it's free agent frenzy. Like, it's important. She didn't put a single fucking meeting on my thing, and she Venmoed me $5 to buy Twisted Tea. So shout out to my PM, Jordan. What a fucking beauty she is. She's hilarious. Couldn't do my job without her. So I appreciate her. And then my zero of the week, softball. I play shortstop. Every time the ball comes in,
wait. You didn't move to third for that kid?
What are you talking? Oh, wait. No, I didn't move to fucking third for that kid. So every time the ball gets thrown in from the outfield, our first baseman played D1 baseball, so he's pretty smart and he's huge. So whenever I throw the ball to first base, it's always an out. So whenever the ball comes in, I always look at first to see if the person rounded first and is walking back to first, because I have a pretty good arm, and it's happened a few times where you kind of throw the ball and they're not paying attention, you get a back pick.
Oh, pick them off, yeah.
So we've been trying to do that all year. So fucking doesn't it happen last game? I get the ball in, I look over, the person's walking back to first base. I'm like, fucking A, right? Hum the ball to first base. He gets it. Tag. This person's probably 5 feet off the bag. The umpire has his back to the fucking play, walking back to home plate. I go, flip. He turns around, looks at me. The person's still 2 feet off the bag, gets on the bag, looks at first. He goes, what? So my zero of the week goes to fucking Flip for fucking me over on that.
Wait, is Flip his name?
We call him Flip. I don't know if that's his actual name. But zero of the week goes to him. Fucking, come on, be better. So, zero of the week.
There you go. So my hero of the week is basically one of America's sweethearts, Paul Rudd.
Okay.
Did you see the story about Paul Rudd?
No.
And the kid?
Mm-mm.
So there's this kid. His name is Brody Ritter. I might not be saying that right. 12 years old, which I think is 5th grade, maybe.
You start kindergarten when you're 5.
5 or 6.
So
Yeah. So
Middle
fifth
school.
grade probably. Fifth
Yeah.
or sixth, say, in that range. So he arrived home from school with a nearly empty yearbook, only managing to acquire the signatures of 2 teachers and 2 classmates despite asking for more. He decided to sign his own yearbook with a note to himself, "Hope you make some more friends." That's fucking tough, right? As a parent to see that. So his mom shared it on, which, I mean, I guess it's a good thing that she shared it because this ended up happening. But if this didn't happen, that'd be a tough look.
Yeah.
She reached her breaking point and she sent it to someone, and somehow this got onto NPR. And Paul Rudd, I guess, heard about it. And the kid's like a huge like Marvel fan, like every kid in America, I'm assuming. Paul Rudd heard about this, sent him an actual Ant-Man helmet from the movie, signed it, got made some kind of statement to get people to sign it, his yearbook. All the older kids at the high school came and signed it. And just, again, we talk about this kind of stuff all the time. Paul Rudd did not have to do that.
No.
He had, and he took the time out. I mean, I'm sure it was like an assistant or something sent him the thing, but he signed it. He did this stuff. He put his name on it. And listen, for someone like Paul Rudd to do something like that, it costs him nothing except for maybe 20 minutes of his day. Yeah. But this kid's going to remember for the rest of his life. So Paul Rudd, who clearly doesn't age. I saw another article about him.
He looks just like he's getting cooler.
Yeah, that's the thing. He doesn't age. Yeah, it's crazy. But so yeah, my hero of the week, Paul Rudd.
Do you have your 0 with the Jacobs? Do you have another 0?
Yeah, that's my 0. I'm not gonna. I said I wanted to end on a high note with the hero and 0. No 0.
And then Disco said no mention of Joey Chestnut's America's Hero winning the hot dog contest on a broken leg.
Did we talk about that last week?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, because you said didn't you say he grabbed the guy while injured and kept eating, right? Didn't you say that? Or am I imagining that?
We might have. That might have just been a phone call. I might have just called you after.
Maybe that might have been.
Very well. But good call out, Disco. So last segment, 3 stars of the week.
All right, Jim and Mike, thanks very kindly. A nice weekend for you. As always, our 3-star selectors are stars of the hockey scene wherever we go on Rogers Hometown Hockey.
I guess my 0 of the week would have been me with internet. So there you go.
Yeah, I'd double down on that. 3 stars, Brownie.
So we like to relate the 3 stars to something that we talk about in the podcast, or if I'm super high and have a funny idea or something, is really how we come up with them. But when the whole thing with Le'Veon Bell taking a year off to box, I said, "Oh, perfect. What do you think you could do if you took a year off to accomplish something?"
That's fair.
So that was it.
All right, my 3rd star.
I had one and I can't think of it now. I had a really good one and I can't remember it.
So my 3rd star, every winter, the lake by my house freezes, and they have an outhouse race. And you build an outhouse, you have a team of 5, and you go down the lake and back. And whoever wins. I would want to train for that because I would want.
You think you need a year for that?
I don't know. Maybe with my teammates, probably.
Oh, that's fair. You'd be herding cats. Yeah.
I want a championship. Right. And to me, I think that'd be fun. What's your 3rd star?
My 3rd star, this is when I texted you earlier, and my wife told me that I was an arrogant asshole when I told her that was my 3rd star. I think if you gave me a year, I could be a pro surfer.
Okay. Yep. All right, Brownie.
Well, I've never surfed. I just think I could do it. And if I had a year to do nothing but surf, I think I'd be all right.
I don't go in the ocean past like my knees, so that's out on me. Sharks, don't do sharks.
She goes, "How do you think you could do that?" I'm like, "Well, it's water." She's like, "You would get crushed by waves." I'm like, "I don't think it's that hard." She's like, "Are you listening to yourself?" Yeah, she got like legitimately mad at me. She got like insulted, like she's some surfer,
My 2nd star, I would never beat Joey Chestnut, but I bet I could put up a top 5 performance in the hot dog eating contest.
Come on, dude. Really?
Top 5? Yes, easily. I would. All I have to do is eat 30 hot dogs in like how long?
Like, I think it's like 15 minutes, isn't it?
I think I can do it. You give me a year, I think I can do it.
Wow.
I think I can take 15 right now, off the couch.
You think you could take down 15 hot dogs in 15 minutes?
Yes.
Not a fucking chance.
Yes.
I think you should make a video.
Hammer food. Yeah, I really do. You
No,
give me a
no,
year,
no.
I bet you I'm in the top 5. Yes.
Ugh, I don't think I could eat more than 3 hot dogs. Yeah.
I'm
Do you-
just letting you know.
Are you like a hot dog fan? Is that why? Do you like hot
Oh,
dogs?
yeah, fucking love hot dogs, dude.
Interesting. Yeah,
Can't you tell from my frame? I fucking love hot dogs.
I don't. How do you train? You just eat, right? I guess.
eat,
I'm sure
dude.
there's
I mean,
more
that's-
to it than that.
Yeah, I mean, we'd have to get everything down, but yeah.
Yeah. All right.
What's your second star?
My second star, because I can't remember what my number 1 is right now, but my second star, I'm going to put it my second star. I think if you gave me a year, I could do stand-up comedy.
I'd give you that. I think
I
you
think I
can
can
do
do
it.
it. I think I could tell a
definitely
good
do
story,
that.
and I think
don't-
I could work through some stuff, like try out different material.
I mean, I don't think you get your own Netflix special, but I think if you went to like a comedy show, I think people would laugh.
You don't think in a year, you don't think I could get a Netflix special?
Why wouldn't people do that?
Why wouldn't what?
Why wouldn't somebody do that then?
Because people have to work and do jobs and pay bills.
I don't think
If
you
you
get
have a
Netflix
year, you don't have to worry about anything else except for doing this.
Yeah, I think you want to get a Netflix special, but I think people would laugh.
That's not accomplishing what I'm setting out to do. Yes, I want people to laugh.
What do
but
you
I
think?
want-
It's out the fucking garden, dude? Like,
No, but I mean, I could get on Jimmy Fallon or something, you know?
maybe. Who
I'd be
knows?
like, remember me? Remember we hung out in New York City, buddy? And you picked up that beer tab for us? I mean, yeah.
Good. My number 1
Okay.
star. I would want to learn how to do the Freebird solo. I think that would be fucking sick. And I don't know if I could do
Wait a
it in a year.
You say you listen. This is this is like when we had one other 3 stars, and you're like, I would like to be able to water ski or something. You got to set your sights higher. Like in a year,
Have you ever seen them do the Freebird solo?
but you should be like you should want to be like a guitar whiz in a year. If you have nothing to do, 8 hours a day, train at guitar. I would think that the Freebird solo would be like 3 months in.
I don't think so, dude.
Again, I
That
don't play the
is
guitar. So
crazy.
this is another arrogant statement by me, my wife.
Yeah,
would say.
like you're like, yeah, I'll take over the world in a year.
Well, I don't know about the world, but definitely the state.
What's your number 1 star?
Well, I can't remember whatever it was that I was going to say earlier. So I'm just going to put in, because I think this goes right along with surfing. I think I could do any of these: skateboard, one wheel, snowboard. I think I would dominate in any of those disciplines.
Like X Games, or just like
Yeah.
be good at it?
Well, skateboard scares me because I watched that Tony Hawk documentary and I'm like, I'm too old for that shit. But you give me a one wheel, dude, or a snowboard, I think I could light it up. If you gave me a year to just do that, my knees would fall apart, but yeah.
What the fuck? All right.
Do you know we were working on this house? We were working the town or two over, and we're working on this house, and we're literally sitting on the tailgate of my truck. 3 of us skateboard. Shut up, Disco. We're sitting on the tailgate of my truck, and a one wheel goes by, and the guy had fit it to have a seat, so he was sitting on a one wheel, and he was literally driving by eating a sandwich, and he went buzzing by, and the 2 kids who worked for me looked at me and went, "That could be you." I'm like, I fucking know.
But I don't think you're making the X Games in a year.
All right, well, let me dial it back. How about this? I could be a one wheel influencer if you gave me a one wheel right now with my social media footprint, and then just gave me a year to work on it. The tricks I could do, the content I could create, I could be their number 1 content creator. How's that?
I wonder, do you think you've never seen me play before? I wonder if I had a year, no work, no nothing. You literally just train. I wonder if I had a year, if I could sign like a professional tryout and play in the East Coast for a game. I think I could do it.
Oh, I was gonna say I could go play with Yager and Liga. I could play defense.
I wrap it up. Brownie says Rusty AF. I don't know what Rusty AF is, but I love it. Yeah, but I guess that's our podcast. Everybody who tuned in, I appreciate you listening. We tried it on our social channels. We had a little bit of technical difficulties. I mean, that is what our foundation is built on. So we appreciate it. Brownie, have anything else for the people at home?
As always, God bless you, Jerome McGinley. Just had a birthday celebrated on July 1st, Canada Day. Is there not a more perfect person to be born on Canada Day than Jerome McGinley? I mean, honestly. And hopefully I'll see you around the rink with your daughter. You know, we'll hook up and get you on the pod, bud.
We'll see. Hopefully it happens. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We will talk to you next week. Oh, Disco's dropping a podcast, I think, next Wednesday. He's talking to the Helios hockey guy.
Nice.
It should be pretty good. We already got it wrapped up. Just waiting to kind of hit publish on that thing. So
Nice.
That's what we have. And yeah, everybody have a great weekend. Be all that you can be. Drink as many Twisted Teas as possible. And we will talk to you guys more. Thank you.
Don't forget about
Love the
me.
pod. Keep it real, boys. Thanks, buddy. We'll talk to you guys next week.